Joining me now live is Victorian Greens leader Samantha Ratnam. Samantha, thank you so much for joining us. How are you feeling?
Well, it's feeling really exciting out here in the booths. I'm here with Gabrielle De Vetri, our candidate for Richmond in Collingwood. It's feeling exciting, lots of support for the Greens, and we're really hopeful of increasing our representation in both the lower and upper house once all those votes are tallied today.
So which seats do you believe the Greens have the best chance of taking?
Well, we're really hopeful of retaining our current seats of Melbourne, Brunswick and Prahran, and picking up seats like Richmond, Northcote, and we're also within reach in seats like Albert Park and Pascoe Vale, on track to increase our representation in the upper house as well.
We've seen, particularly at the federal election, a real threat from the Teal independents. Are you confident Victorian voters will float towards the Greens rather than the Teals?
Well, what we saw at the federal election was a record low vote for the major parties. People really turning away from the major parties because they don't want to be taken for granted anymore. A record high vote for parties like the Greens in Victoria, as well as independents who care about climate change, inequality and integrity. We really welcome anyone and more people advocating for stronger action on climate, integrity and inequality. It will make our next parliament as progressive as possible.
In the event of a minority Labor government, can you work with Labor?
Well, we're really willing and open to work constructively and cooperatively with the future Labor government should they not be able to form government in their own right. We want really strong action on climate change, housing affordability and integrity, and they would be top priorities for us in any negotiations with the future Labor government.
What are you hearing when you speak to people? What are the key concerns?
Climate change is coming through, day after day. We've had floods in Victoria, more to come, bushfires to come after that. And that's because the climate crisis is here in Victoria. We barely can recover from one climate disaster event before the next one hits us. And people want stronger action, like ending our dependence on coal, getting out of gas drilling like near the 12 Apostles, yet neither major party has a plan to tackle fossil fuels, but the Greens do, with a just transition for workers, 100% renewable energy. We're also hearing housing affordability come up repeatedly because we're in a housing affordability crisis here in Victoria. We need to build tens of thousands more homes. We're pledging to build 200,000 public and affordable homes, making sure property developers pay their fair share towards affordable housing.
How confident are you that the Greens won't see a repeat of the 2018 election, which was particularly bruising for the party? What's changed between now and then?
We've run a really strong people-powered grassroots campaign talking to thousands of voters, and here in the seat of Richmond, Gabrielle and her team have knocked on thousands of doors, more than we've ever before, talking to voters directly, and that's what politics should be, a contest of ideas, really engaging with the community. We're getting really strong feedback, so we're really hopeful of increasing our representation.
Samantha Ratnam, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.